Stephanie Nietzsche, and today I would like to talk about a post I made on my Facebook writer page. And this is about writers and public speaking, even on social media, like right now, what I'm doing. I also want to add, I'm not feeling so great today. So if I sound a little stuffy, a little congested, that is why. But let's go because I've recently went to a couple of events with other authors. And not only did I have my own feedback to share, but in the future, I have feedback from other readers who have attended these events. So I think this is like really an important topic to discuss and to share with writers because when we're up there, this episode happens to be about public speaking, but when we're up there and you know we may be nervous because we haven't spoken a while, or even if we speak once a week, sometimes you just get that, let's call it stage fright. You get those jitters, you get those nerves, and it's difficult enough to pick a scene out of your book or some type of dialogue that you choose to read in front of a group. That alone is nerve wracking. And when you're home, I mean, you really should be practicing it before you. 'Cause that's how you also find typos in your book, by reading it aloud. So, but what I really want to talk about now is an event I attended. It was at a library, and all of us authors got to stand up and speak. So, one thing I did notice, and even the host, our host at the library who set everything up, she had set a time limit for 5 minutes. She set an alarm. And for very few did this alarm go off. And you know why? Because they spoke too quickly. And I just want to say, if you're reading your work too fast to an audience, not only can it flatten your emotions, but it can blur your pacing. And if it blurs your pacing, if something is meant to be funny, it's not going to be picked up. And that's why with comedy, comedians have to have timing, because if your timing is off and something's supposed to be funny, the listener is not going to pick up on the joke. And that's just the way it is. So if you have something funny to say, you have to have that comedic timing. You have to have that pause. You have to have that, return. And also, if you read too fast, readers and listeners are going to miss the magic. Look, I'm losing my voice. So maybe after every paragraph, or even after a sentence or a comma, I would say, take a deep pause. If you find that you're reading, just like I'm talking right now, and now I'm taking a breath, you happen to hear it because I wanted you to hear it, and there's a pause. Because when I'm speaking, if I say everything really fast, like this, when I speak and I say everything fast, you're not going to really pick up on everything I'm saying. So if I want to tell a joke and you're not going to get the punchline because it doesn't sound funny because I'm talking so fast, you're trying to catch up with everything I'm saying, and that is way, way too quick. So you have to reset your pace. You have to settle your nerves, and you have to give your audience time to absorb the scene, the joke, or the emotion. So let's talk about that. And one of the important things is, as a writer, and you're pacing out your scenes, and you know you want the reader to be in the story and experience the moment the way it's supposed to be felt. Okay, so you need to do this with pauses. You need to do this with emotion in your voice, because if you are reading too fast, where's the emotion? You're just like you're just like running it off, running the words off. And you have to speak with intention. The intention that you write with is the intention that you want the reader to pick up on while they're reading. So while you're speaking aloud, you need to speak with that intention to get through to the reader, because remember, they're listening now. They're not reading at their own pace. They're listening at your pace. And if your pace is too fast, they're not picking up the story. I mean, you may have a fabulous story and a fabulous scene, and you chose this scene to read aloud to the audience. So this scene must mean something. There must be some kind of, tension or connection or something so fabulous, some wit, banter, anything. And if you're just reading it off like that, they're not going to pick it up. And then you're also usually at these events to find readers, to sell books. They're not going to be interested in the story if you're not translating the scene correctly. So another thing to remember is let the silence work for you. Let the emotion and the jokes, let them land. And you have to let the story breathe. And one more tip is you have to remember the way you deliver your live speaking time, or even like right here online. You want to speak with the rhythm you imagined when you wrote the scene, because that is how it's going to be effective. And that's how it's going to work for the reader. So, yeah, do not speed read your scene. No matter how nervous you are, just get up there and read it. Read it aloud the way the reader is supposed to read it and feel it when they read it for themselves. All right, everyone, it's me, Stephanie Nietzsche. Fall is here, but winter is quickly approaching and people are getting sick and they're spreading their germs. So always remember, wash your hands, cover your mouth when you cough, whether it be with a tissue or the crook of your arm, because they say coughing in your hands is really not good because that's really a good way to spread germs. And if you can, stay home. That's my PSA for today. It's my public service announcement. If you're not feeling well, try not to spread your germs to other people. Okay, everyone. Again, it's me, Stephanie Nietzsche. I hope you found this tip helpful, and I'll see you right here next time. And if you liked it, it would be nice to give it a thumbs up. Maybe follow, hit the little notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Keep writing, keep reading, and stay healthy.